if not for all the instant gratification of 1998, and if not for all this racial demonization conversation we had in America, I'm telling you, we would have been caught up in this hunt for 62. Steve Kim, I'll let you fire first. Aaron Judge and what he accomplished will not be properly celebrated or appreciated because we destroyed this moment. Your thoughts?
You know, you're going to hate me for this take, but I just want to start off with this. I speak for all college football fanatics across the country. I'm glad he got 62. Because if any more games got cut into with the half a buck, if I cannot enjoy Kansas, Iowa State on a full screen, I mean, Lance Leipold's doing a hell of a job, and Jalen Daniels. And I'm watching this going, oh, God, come on. Here's the issue, though, on a serious note.
Yeah.
Baseball at one time was the number one sport along with baseball, and then it pulled away, and it had free reign
Football,
over our attention in terms of spectator sports. But I've told you this last year, and I'll say it again. Baseball might be our national pastime still, but our passion is really football. I mean, everything you said is true to a certain degree. There's no doubt about it. The home run race of 1998 between Sammy Sosa and Mark McGwire, and then a couple years later, the exploits of Barry Bonds, they re-energized the sport, but then you could also argue that they tainted the sport. But I think there's an issue with baseball. And this is as someone that played the game, and I actually was a decent player, believe it or not. I wasn't great, but I was pretty good. I find the game boring. It's slow. It's almost unwatchable, over-relying on analytics. And one of the issues I have with baseball is that if you actually try to watch a game, the tempo is so slow. They need to do other things. And I've actually talked to people in the marketing departments of baseball. They're actually concerned that it actually skews to much more of an older audience. I think that's the bigger issue. I don't think people care about as much about his baseball as they did 20 years ago.
Man, I thought it just rained on Aaron Judge's parade. You whipped your pecker out and pissed on it as well. My God, Steve. I'm supposed to be Mr. Negativity.
You are? Oh, I disagree with that. Wholly disagree. I'm Mr. Negativity. Give me a break.
You just proved that.
There's a further point to your idea of instant gratification. And that is that because of that, baseball was going away anyway. The sport's too slow. It's not interesting to anybody my age. I don't have any friends who baseball is their favorite sport. And I live in St. Louis, where the Cardinals are the only thing going. And so we would way rather watch an NFL team that left our city and went to LA than we would the St. Louis Cardinals. I'm just telling you. And so Mark McGwire was in St. Louis, right? It was great, and there's a lot of people in St. Louis that disagree with me. I'm just telling you, the instant gratification. Everything Steve said is 100% true for virtually everybody in my generation. It's not quite true for people his age, I don't think.
Thank you,
but
TJ.
I'm telling you, if I hear,
Thank you.
I'm sorry about that, Steve, to point out your age. If I hear the words launch angle one more time, I'm going to lose my mind.
Yeah.
Right? That's baseball. I'm done with it.
And so my point, gentlemen, is I get that baseball is past its expiration date as its national pastime. I'm well aware of that. I'm not a huge baseball guy. This moment, though, we could all feel the exact same thing we feel now. This game's too slow, it's boring, blah, blah, blah. But if not for all the instant gratification of 1998, and if not for all this racial demonization conversation we had in America, I'm telling you, we would have been caught up in this hunt for 62. We would have forgotten how much we don't like baseball. I didn't like it in 1998. I wasn't into it in 98. But Sosa McGwire captured my imagination. And I started out a baseball fan. I loved Mario Soto. I loved J.R. Richard. I loved Johnny Bench. I started out as a kid a baseball fan. And then I got off of it, and it was like, this is too boring for me. But in 98, I got caught up in it. And if we hadn't had this thing would be amazing. His story is amazing. He's adopted. Anyway, it would be an amazing, but
Well-
we've ruined it.
I still don't think it would be as interesting as 98, right? Because you had two. There was actually a battle going on, so you switch back and forth in two cities that were rivals, right? Sosa was right there on the tail of McGuire. You didn't know if it was going to happen. That was an interesting storyline in the days of where baseball had to make a comeback. If it's one guy, I get it. It's still New York, but I still don't think it would be as interesting. It's a dying sport that they're trying to figure out how to get people to watch, and then you have one guy who, how many games did he play? I'm with Steve. I know it took him at least 2 weeks because I watched a lot of college football games where they broke in and didn't let me watch. But so he was stuck on 61 for a long time.